February 14th. I know it's Valentine's Day, but did you also know it is Arizona's birthday? And to celebrate, Arizona Highways magazine has dedicated its February issue to the state's rich history. Of course, we've got editor-in-chief Robert Steve here, which I love that we're focusing on the history of Arizona. And we're celebrating where Arizona truly comes from. So where do you want to start? How did you pick some of the places, the historic places?
Yeah, it's tricky because there are so many great stories.
Yes.
It's fun for us because it's a nice departure from all the beautiful landscapes,
Right.
you know, because we do have a rich history. On our cover, your viewers will see an old lodge. Now, this is interesting. If any of you have hiked the West Fork of Oak Creek up in Sedona,
Yes.
when you start that trail, there's ruins from an old lodge, and that's what we have on our cover here. This was, it burned down in the early 1980s, but you know, Walt Disney and Jimmy Stewart and all these famous celebrities stayed at this beautiful lodge in what is one of the most beautiful places. So we tell the story about the lodge. That's just one of the stories inside.
What are some of your other favorites?
Well, we've got this great story about this woman from San Diego. She was a preacher who escaped was allegedly kidnapped and hauled to the desert down by Douglas, Arizona. It's just a fascinating, like, it should be made into a movie kind of story. And then what we do, and we'll see some photos here, there was a husband and wife team that was prolific shooting photographs all over Arizona in the mid-century. And so we're showcasing some of their photos in this issue.
This is definitely different than a typical issue.
Yes.
It really focuses on the stories. So how did you narrow it down? How did you even discover? Because some of these stories, people who have lived here their whole lives may have never even heard.
Well, that's a really great question, because when you've been around for 100 years as a magazine, trying to come up with news stories, and just like your reporters are digging things up all the time, you know, our writers are out there, you know, trying to find something that's new and counterintuitive, and I think we pulled it off.
I think you did too. You know what? I think this is something when someone moves to Arizona, they need to have this issue particularly, because then they can really understand what makes Arizona so special.
Yeah, because, you know, people move here for the weather, or they move here for the Grand Canyon, but, you know, there's so much cultural history with the native history and the Hispanic culture, and even like the pioneers, the ranchers. I mean, there's just so much great history.
Okay, I know that we're talking about this issue. Any issues coming up that you're really excited about, or can we not talk about them yet?
Oh, we can talk about things. You're putting me on the spot. I have to remember what we're doing.
I know it's probably hard to keep everything.
You know, we actually have our April issue coming up, which is completely dedicated to Hispanic culture in the state, which we're super excited about that. Haven't done that for a while. Coming up in July, as the country celebrates its 250th birthday, we have a sort of an Arizona twist on 250 years. So
this is such a treasure. Again, I just think that these magazines are just something that make you feel proud to be in Arizona. I mean, you look at these incredible pictures, and now we get to read all of these amazing stories. I just love it. Robert, thank you so much. Where can people grab these?
On newsstands everywhere.